The Viking's Quest. Ingrid stood at the edge of the fjord, her father's sword clenched tightly in her hand, determination etched across her face like the scars of battle. The cold winds whipped through the sails of the longship, carrying Ingrid and her crew across the treacherous seas towards the distant British Isles. Each stroke of the oar brought them closer to their goal, the rhythmic splashing of water mingling with the sound of the warriors' chants. Eric, her trusted second-in-command, guided the ship through the fog, his eyes sharp and focused on the horizon ahead. As the longship approached the shores of Britain, Ingrid's heart pounded with a mixture of anticipation and resolve, her father's memory urging her forward. The first clash of steel echoed across the beach as Ingrid's warriors met the resistance of British soldiers, the battle fierce and unforgiving. Ingrid's sword danced through the air, each strike fueled by the burning need to avenge her father's death and reclaim the stolen artifact. In the midst of the chaos, she spotted Gunnar, her rival, smirking as he cut down one of her men, his cunning eyes full of malice. With a fierce battle cry, Ingrid charged at Gunnar, their swords clashing with a force that reverberated through the battlefield. The fight was brutal, but Ingrid's determination never wavered, her father's voice echoing in her mind as she fought with all her strength. Gunnar's blade grazed her arm, but Ingrid pressed on, her resolve like iron as she countered with a powerful strike to his side. As Gunnar fell to his knees, gasping for breath, Ingrid seized the opportunity to deliver the final blow, ending the rivalry once and for all. With Gunnar defeated, Ingrid turned her attention to the stolen artifact, her eyes scanning the battlefield for any sign of it. Amid the ruins of the battle, she found the artifact, a beautifully crafted pendant, its ancient symbols glowing faintly in the fading light. The pendant felt warm in her hand, a connection to her father and the legacy she was destined to protect for her people. With the battle won and the artifact secured, Ingrid led her warriors back to their ship, their victory a testament to their strength and unity. As they sailed away from the British shores, Ingrid's thoughts turned to the future, the weight of leadership settling on her shoulders. Days passed at sea, the crew weary but triumphant, their spirits lifted by the sight of familiar Scandinavian cliffs in the distance. When they reached home, the villagers gathered to greet them, their cheers echoing through the fjord as they celebrated Ingrid's return. Among the crowd stood Caitlin, the British healer who had secretly aided Ingrid, her presence a reminder of the bonds forged on the journey. Caitlin's knowledge of herbs and healing had saved many of Ingrid's men, her skills earning her the respect and gratitude of the Viking warriors. Despite her initial distrust, Ingrid had come to see Caitlin as an ally, their shared experiences bridging the gap between their two worlds. As the night fell, the village held a feast in honor of Ingrid and her crew, the fires burning bright against the darkening sky. Eric raised his horn of mead in a toast to Ingrid, his voice booming as he praised her courage and leadership. The warriors joined in, their voices rising in a chorus of loyalty and respect, their bond stronger than ever after the trials they had faced. Ingrid looked out at her people, pride swelling in her chest as she realized the true meaning of her journey, unity and strength through shared purpose. The pendant now hung around her neck, a symbol of her father's legacy and the responsibility she had accepted as their leader. As the night wore on, Caitlin approached Ingrid, her eyes reflecting the flickering firelight as she spoke of the need for peace. Ingrid listened, her mind turning over the possibilities of forging alliances with the British, their shared future bright despite the past. The idea of uniting their people resonated with Ingrid, the vision of a peaceful future giving her new purpose and direction. The next morning, Ingrid stood before her people, her voice strong as she spoke of the journey they had undertaken and the future they would build. She declared her intention to lead not just with strength, but with wisdom, her father's teachings guiding her as she sought to unify their world. The villagers nodded in agreement, their trust in Ingrid unwavering as they recognized the leader she had become through her trials. As Ingrid set plans in motion for future alliances, she knew the path ahead would be difficult, but she welcomed the challenge. The memory of her father no longer haunted her, instead, it inspired her to build a better future for her people and those they had once called enemies. Ingrid's journey had begun with a quest for vengeance, but it ended with the realization that true strength lay in unity and leadership. Her return to Scandinavia marked not just the end of her quest, but the beginning of a new era for her people, one built on respect and cooperation. Caitlin chose to stay, her presence a symbol of the new bonds between their lands, her knowledge invaluable in the times ahead. Together, Ingrid and Caitlin worked to heal the wounds of the past, their efforts laying the foundation for a lasting peace between their peoples. Eric continued to stand by Ingrid's side, his loyalty unshaken as they navigated the challenges of leadership together. The once feared warrior had become a respected leader, her wisdom guiding her people through both war and peace. The artifact, once a symbol of vengeance, now represented the unity between their lands, its ancient symbols a reminder of their shared history. As time passed, Ingrid's legend grew, her name spoken with reverence across both Viking and British lands, her deeds celebrated in song and story. The bond between their peoples strengthened with each passing year, the once bitter enemies now allies in the face of new challenges. Ingrid's leadership brought prosperity to her people, their villages thriving as trade routes opened and alliances were forged. The seas, once treacherous, became the lifeblood of their newfound peace, the longships carrying goods and ideas between their lands. Ingrid often thought of her father, her heart filled with pride knowing she had honored his memory in the best way possible. The pendant remained around her neck, a constant reminder of her journey and the lessons she had learned along the way. As she looked out over the fjord, the wind in her hair, Ingrid knew that her father's spirit was with her, guiding her as she led her people. She had become more than a warrior, she was a leader, a unifier, and a beacon of hope for both her people and those she had once fought against. Her journey had taught her that true strength came not from the sword, but from the heart, and the ability to bring people together. The once divided lands now stood united, their shared future brighter than any of them could have imagined at the start of her quest. Ingrid's name would be remembered for generations, her legacy one of wisdom, strength, and the power to heal and unite. As she grew older, Ingrid passed on her knowledge to the next generation, ensuring that her people would continue to thrive in peace. The alliances she had forged remained strong, their bond a testament to the power of understanding and mutual respect. Ingrid's story spread far and wide, her legend growing with each retelling, her deeds inspiring others to seek peace and unity in their own lands. Her life was a testament to the journey of self-discovery and the realization that vengeance was not the path to true strength. The artifact, now a symbol of unity, was passed down through generations, its meaning deepened with each telling of Ingrid's story. As the sun set on Ingrid's final days, she looked out over her people, content in the knowledge that she had led them well and secured their future.